Jurak Classic Whole Body Tonic is a dietary supplement, not a drug. Therefore, it is useful to affect the structure and/or function of your body in various ways, but it is not intended to and will not cure, mitigate, treat, or prevent any disease. Individual testimonials may not be everyone's experience and do not constitute scientific evidence. Jurak Corporation does not make any drug or treatment claims for its product.
And another great welcome to the wonderful special JC Tonic conference call that we have every single week, live and with great guests and with great success stories, both from the point of view of course, your health and improving your health. And these days, with all this virus stuff going around, everybody has been encouraged to drink more. And for those of you who do not know, there is a very, very special virus special price that we offered. Make sure you call home office and get in on it. We've done this a couple of times during this virus period, and we've encouraged people to drink more, and they have. And not only that, there is some extra bottles that really do not cost you, and they have been giving them away to other people to help them out. Because, as you know, or those of you who have been with the JC Tonic for some time know, maybe the new folks on the call do not know, this is one of the most incredible immune system boosting products known to mankind. And it has been doing that since 1943, when my father started to commercialize it for the first time. And there is, of course, several episodes of the history that we've recorded and played on Sundays over the last number of weeks. You can go back to your emails and listen to them. But every time I do a call, I just have to bring up some of the past, because it really is incredible to me, and it's almost unbelievable that here we are since 1943, and this product still is doing exactly the same thing, saving lives. It's saving lives, folks. We have on the call with us tonight two of our really outstanding ambassadors of health. They have been saving lives for coming up to 30 years, probably. Pretty darn close. They're both on the call tonight, and they're going to tell you a little bit of all that. But we really have been saving lives. And I know it because I talk to people all day long, and many of them are on the edge. The next step is going to be the pine box. And yet, when they start drinking the JC, they start having a turnaround. Now, as you heard from the disclaimer, we claim nothing. We do not claim it cures. As a matter of fact, it does not cure. It's not for any particular illness. It is a catalyst that works to the purification, the detoxification, and the oxygenation of the blood. When your blood starts to get more healthy, that means cleaner. That means able to deliver the nutrients correctly. It means able to deliver the hormones. It means having sufficient oxygen. It means being able to pull out all the debris and the toxins and the junk that accumulates in our systems. That's what healthy blood does. And when you're born, that's what it does all day long. And did you ever realize that you probably never went to a doctor except for a couple of sniffles and the odd scratch or whatever it was, maybe a broken bone, maybe some sports injuries over the years? You never went to the doctor because you needed some kind of a prescription medication because you had a systemic illness of some kind. That only starts, well, in some cases 40, but usually in the 50s, and maybe sometimes even in the 60s. And in my case, I still don't take any systemic medication, and everybody is amazed at that. And I guess it's because I've been drinking this since I'm 11 years old, and my blood has stayed and remained pretty darn clean, comparatively speaking, to many people, or most people. And if you can clean up the blood. It's going to do the same job it did when you were 30 or 20 or 10. It's going to do the job that it was invented to do. And remember, folks, the whole deal is the blood. Nothing else matters. If you don't have blood that is able to satisfy the needs of your body, the body's going to break down or not function. So the very first thing is to have clean blood. Now, we've got some of our users who have taken pictures of the blood when they go in for a blood workup for whatever the reason, maybe because they were ill, maybe to give blood, whatever it is, but they take a picture and they start drinking the tonic maybe for the first time, and after 3, 4, 5, 6 months, they go back and get another blood workup. Not only is the quality of the blood totally different, but the color is different. So let me suggest to all of you, when you have a blood workup, take out your phone and take a picture of the blood in the vial. And watch and see next time, whatever it is, 6 months, a year later, whatever, you will see the difference in the blood. And we have folks now who are going around with these pictures on their phone, and they just show the picture to everybody and say, look at what my blood was last year or 6 months ago or 8 months ago, and look what it is today. I mean, man, everybody goes crazy. They wonder, what is going on? And that alone is a testimonial, a success story that you all could use to drink free. The reason I'm saying this is because this call tonight is to give you some tips how to drink free. It's time, especially if in your 50s or 60s. Why would you be paying for it? It's easy to spread the word around. It's really easy to tell somebody I'm going to save your life when they're ready to croak. I mean, and you know how many people you know that are in a terrible, terrible dilemma. They're not getting well. They're on many medications. Everything is going the wrong way, and they're growing old much faster than they should. So you can save their life. You can certainly extend it if they're not that badly off, because when you hear what both Betty, who is our guest tonight, and Lenny, who is our guest tonight, tell you about their health, their experience, and the people's lives that they've saved, you're all going to understand that you all can do it just as well. It's not because they've been doing it for 30 years or coming up to 30 years, or because I've been doing it for, I don't know, can't count anymore, 60 years, 70 years that I've been talking about this. It's that if you do it, you will see that it's easy to tell that story, and you'll be telling the truth about your own health. Whatever you suffer of today, it's going to diminish or disappear. And the reason it does it is not because this is a cure. It does it because you've cleaned up the blood, and the blood is now starting to do what it used to do. It feeds the systems, it cleans out the systems, it oxygenates, and so on. And you will see that if you spread the word around, you soon will be drinking at least your own provisions free. That's the very first thing that everyone must do. And don't worry about finding somebody, because if you take a list out of your phone or your computer and make a list of people you know, contacts you have, and just print it out and go through the list, I'll guarantee you will find 10, 20, 50, 100, depending how many people you know, of people that you know what their illness is because they've talked to you about it. You know, when you call somebody, how are you doing, Mary? Oh, my good Lord, I had such a terrible night. I didn't sleep. I did this and that. And, you know, I mean, Mary and John, they both say that. That's 9/10 of the conversation at breakfast rooms in the motels where older folks are traveling around in their RV or just traveling around staying in motels. They go into the breakfast room. You go and look and listen. That's what they talk about for half of the breakfast. Their illnesses and what doctor they're going to and so on. Everybody's sick in this country. So there is no shortage of people to talk to. What Betty and Lenny are going to tell you is how to talk to them, okay? So that's going to be the call that we're having tonight. and it's going to be the call we're going to have in the next few weeks, because you're all going to need to know these things, and you're all going to want to know, because this is time, folks, to help other people, especially with this virus thing. You want to try and help people as best you can. So we've made the special price, and look, all you got to do is do it, okay? So Betty and Lenny, please jump on and tell us what's going on.
Hello there. Can you hear me?
There's Betty and there's Lenny.
There I am. How are you tonight?
Good indeed. Thank you very much, Betty. Thank you for being on the call.
Yeah,
and I'm going to ask you and Lenny to chat it up and take over the call and tell all the folks on the call what they need to know.
Okay, well, can ladies go first tonight?
All right. Can you what?
Is that okay? Ladies go first, Lenny, that's okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this week, of course, I've been busy on the phones because the special's back on, as Anthony mentioned to you. And, of course, so many people don't even know about it because they never open their email, so I'm always there just to remind them so they don't miss out. But anyway, I did have one of the girls say, I've been on the product now a couple of months, and I'd really like to consider selling this. She said, I'm working 2 jobs, I'm tired, and I really need some extra income coming in. So she said, what do I tell people? She said, I just don't know what to say to people. So I said, okay. I ran downstairs and I have some notes about, the things that I tell people, or I try my best to tell people. So she wrote some notes on what I said. So I'd just like to share those notes with everybody tonight, and maybe you can use some of these ideas when you're first introducing somebody to the product. And I find for the most part, they seem to work, that people will actually go to the website, they will get the information there, because it is so very valuable, and they get a good understanding then about the product. So first of all, I'll tell everybody that has been around, for almost 80 years now, that it's an outline-based formula, and I do go into the detail about how important that is to someone's system. I'll also tell them it is an oxygenator, that it contains 18 bidirectional tonic herbs. I don't tell them it's a cure for anything because it really isn't, but it does clean our blood and our organs of the toxins. And once that is accomplished, it's your body getting back to healing itself. So we do see miracles with it. I tell them also that it not only works on people, but animals as well. And I do have my own story on that, but I will direct them later to the website. So if they want to listen to my entire story, they can do that and basically understand why I got into this and how the product has changed my life over the last many, many years. And then I'll go with them while I'm on the phone. I'll get them to pull up our website, and I'll get them to check out a few of the sections we have there. We only have the 2 products, of course, our wonderful JC Tonic and our Helena Skin Rejuvenator, so it's very simple. You just click on products, and under JC Tonic, of course, there's many, many headings, many topics that they can review when they have a few minutes, and they'll get a good understanding, of course, of how the product works and why it works. And they can also check out our wonderful Helena Skin Rejuvenator. There's a whole section on that, and what an incredible product that is as well. I'll ask them, of course, if they'd like to share their personal information with me, what kind of health issues they have, so I direct them better to how much they should take, how they should start the product. They must be very consistent with, of course. If they're on medication, of course, 2 hours apart from any meds they're on. I never advise them to get off medication, that they should always check with their doctor first. We're not doctors, of course, going to be up to their doctors if they feel that at some point they can maybe cut back or even discontinue. Once they're going through, a bottle or 2 and they start to see results. I'll also discuss with them when they're first starting the product that there could be small healing prices, but there is information from Dr. Bruce Life on that. But in most cases, I haven't come across very many people who go through this. But if they do, I don't want them to be frightened. It is quite normal in a lot of situations, and they can work through that reaction, how mild it is, and they won't go off the product. I want them to stay on the product. If they have a very small symptom, I want them just to work through it. So I do keep them very, very close that first week or two when they've received their tonic. I will call them within a few days after their order has shipped. I will check and make sure they're taking the tonic exactly as I've recommended, because everybody is a little bit different. And I'll see, how they've enjoyed the taste. I'll let them know that the tonic does not have to be refrigerated, that they can mix it with anything, juice or water, and, give them the times maybe they should consume the product. I will tell them, if they're interested, a little bit about the business, but I don't go into great detail about that, just because I always felt that you have to let the product work on its own. And you need to tell people your own personal story. And then, of course, if you want to share that with others, that's wonderful. They can do that. And I always offer my own personal help to them. I tell them I'll talk to anybody on your behalf and give them information. So that gives them a bit of security, because then if they should decide to get into the business at some point, they know that I'm going to be there to help them along the way. And, so I will sometimes share stories with them if they're interested. If they have a particular problem, I'll direct them to the website, tell them how they can check certain issues themselves, or, family member, friend may be suffering from. I'll tell them about our success story database and how we have many, many listings of various health issues that people have written in letters from over the years, dating back some of those letters to the 1940s, when Carl Jurak actually formulated the product and gave it away and brewed it up in his basement. In some cases, I will tell people more in detail about Carl and about Anthony and about the company. I don't want to overwhelm anybody at first. I really just want them to get on the JC Tonic, to experience it the way I have for all these years, and kind of go from there after that. They really need the product to work for them before I think they can really go ahead and start sharing it with others. So that's always been, and I guess will continue to be, my philosophy. It's product first for me. And I think people appreciate that. They know how much this means to me, how it's changed my life. And basically, people really do trust me, which is honestly such a blessing and such an honor. And I've met so many wonderful people. I have people call me all the time, and not even about the tonic. They might have a personal issue going on in their lives that they want to talk to somebody about. And that does happen to me very, very often. And I'm so happy to be there for them, just to help them out if I can, and to have an ear, to helping them out and showing a bit of, my compassion for them. So it's a very, very different business. We're not only helping others with this product, giving them back their lives, giving them hope, but just being a good friend to them is a big part of it as well. So it's blessed my life. We really have. I'm very, very lucky. And that's about all I have for tonight, I think. Lenny?
Thank you, Betty. I appreciate it. Folks, I've been drinking the tonic for quite a while. And if you're skeptical, some of you on the call have never drank JC Tonic. And you're probably thinking, oh, no, not another sales pitch or whatever. And I can tell you, I understand. Because when I first heard about JC Tonic, I was sick, broke, and I didn't know what to do, because when the doctors tell you that, what can they do? I mean, it's very hard to accept that. So I was in that condition, and what made me change my mind is that I had looked up in the library, what could help. I tried everything. I was scared. So we found that if you could keep your blood clean and your organs and your glands working properly, that you can have better health. So I thought, wow, this JC Tonic does that. So skeptically, I went and heard about it. And I kind of had a quick buzz from the tonic on my first samples. And I was there, so I was kind of hateful, to be the truth, because I didn't want to be sold. I'm probably like you guys. I didn't want to be sold by anybody. I was just there to try the product and get some freebies. And I'll tell you, on the way home, I saw a slight difference in my eyesight. So that prompted me to want to try JC Tonic. But the other side problem that I had was that I had no money. And when you're sick, you're spending a lot of money going to the doctors and trying all the different medications and so forth. And that gets disheartening. So I made the step. I thought, you know what? If I could figure out how to drink this tonic for free, then I could afford it. So I kid you not, I stood up till like 1, 2 in the morning trying to figure out a way. And finally, voila, it finally hit me. So the company has a program where if you share the tonic with a few people, you're able to collect enough income to pay for your own. And I did that for 20 years now. I've never had to pay for JC Tonic, but I helped so many people. So it wasn't per se I'm trying to make a lot of money, but I wanted to help other people who were in my condition, who were really, really sick. And I have a couple of guests that I was able to contact, and I want them to tell their story, because really it's the stories that got me excited about sharing the tonic more and more. So I have some guests, Peggy and Bill Halverson. Are you guys there? Yeah, Peggy. Yeah. We've been friends for quite a while, you and Bill, and tell the folks your JC Tonic, because you've been on for a long time, but then you guys stopped. And I understand, because a lot of times we get better and then we feel, I don't want to spend the money on that. But tell your story so people who are on the call can understand.
Well, we started around 2001 taking it. A friend of mine, Chris Simons, she was telling us about it, how much it helped her. And so we started to take it, and we did really well. It helped in so many ways. It gave us energy. It makes your fingernails grow. It cleans your blood. There's just so many benefits from taking it. And then we moved around a lot. About 5 years ago, we came back to Nebraska from Colorado, and we really didn't go off of it. We just cut it back. I know I'd make trips out to Denver and get a bottle from you when I could. Right. And so we were hanging on, but financially it was harder for us. And so we kind of got sidetracked for a while. But we sure realized how important it is to continue to take it no matter what. Because you don't stop trying to eat right. You might cut back a little bit on what you buy, but you still are conscious of trying to eat the right thing. And so that's how it was with the tonic. We realized that was a staple that we needed to take no matter what.
Right. And, so Peggy, what did it do for you? Maybe you can give a little idea.
Oh, it's like night and day. I mean, we're getting older now, and we don't have the energy that we had when we were younger. So it makes all the difference in the world. It's like we're young again when we take it, because we have all this energy. We got sick last October, a year ago, and we don't get sick. We just don't. And Bill and I both got sick for 2 weeks straight, and we didn't have the tonic at that time. And then come February again, that following February, we got sick again, and we had it for about a month. Both of us had it. And so my friend Chris, she said, you need to get back on the tonic. You need to be taking it. And so then we got back on it regularly again. And so far we haven't been sick this year. So our goal is to continue taking it and help share it with others.
Very good. Now, your husband, Bill, He's had some major problems. Bill, could you tell the folks what you were suffering with and how tonic helped you?
Well, first off, I have had diabetes since 1961. Up to this time period, I have had diabetes for 59 years. I am type 1, where I have to take insulin, and I figure by just a guesstimation, I've taken somewhere between 70 and 75,000 shots in my life. And I've had ups and downs with my diabetes and eating right and on and on and on and on. But like Peggy said, when we got sick and everything, I started changing not only my way of eating, but taking more tonic. And now I drink, Peggy and I both don't eat any gluten, so don't eat out very often. We cook at home with all natural stuff, and I drink a green drink, raw vegetables, and so does Peggy, at least once or several times a day, along with the tonic. And for 72-year-old, I'm 72, and I work hard in home maintenance. I feel good. I just feel terrific. And I know for a fact that once I started really getting back on the tonic again, it just gave me terrific energy. I also tie fish and flies, little tiny 22 sized, where it's about, like, say, a quarter of an inch. I do it without my glasses. I had cataracts, and the tonic has made me see better, helped tremendously on every aspect. So people are really kind of foolish if they don't research what the tonic can do, because it's been here since 1943, means it works. And Peggy and I will never get off of it.
Good, Bill. Thank you, and Peggy, for being on tonight. The folks who are listening, again, we're not trying to sell you. We just want you to try it, look up the information, make a difference. And some of you, it may take longer to get results. I know people who've gotten results first dose. I know some people who got results after a year. And if you continue to drink it, even if it's a maintenance dose, like I do now, I don't really have any serious illnesses or anything because I've been drinking the tonic because I got well. But I drink a maintenance dose, whether it's a half an ounce, 1 ounce. I do that every day because I know it's going to keep my blood clean and it's going to keep my body functioning properly. So I have a better chance of having a more lively, healthy life. Of course, we're all going to eventually deteriorate, but there's so many people who are so miserable. You don't have to be miserable. If you just take care of your health and drink some JC Tonic on a daily basis, I can tell you it makes a huge difference. So I appreciate you guys sharing. Next week, I want to invite a friend. Her name is Judy Rich. Judy, could we just bring her on for a second? She's not going to give you her story right now, but Judy, you used to drink the tonic. You got off the tonic. Why did you get back on it? You know, what was the reason behind that? Are we able to get Judy on for a second? Well, maybe not. But folks, Judy Rich, she's going to come on Sunday, and we invite you to come back because you're going to hear more stories of how this tonic worked, and then you'll see the possibility of saving other people's lives. So if you've never drank it, you get on it first. And if you feel that, hey, this is worth sharing with us people, then do it. Because, man, I have so many friends across the United States and even in Canada who've been drinking JC Tonic. I was able to introduce it to them. And over time, they got better. They're living better. And I kid you not, I have friends who are, I just talked to Herman Gaylor today.
Oh, Lenny.
He's 87, and he still drinks the tonic. So,
Hello,
I
Lenny.
just hear Judy. Judy, are you there,
Yes,
right?
yes, they finally unmuted me. I'm sorry, I was muted.
That's okay.
Hello?
Our call's almost over, but you were taking
Well,
the
just
tonic
tell
for a long
everybody
time.
to come back next week, and I'll tell them my story, okay?
Right, because you stopped
All
for a
right.
while. So I know they got to hear your wonderful story. So, Judy, thanks for even popping in there.
Thank you.
So, Tonic Man, there's so much to say, but folks, come back next week because hear more. The stories are what drives me to continue with this. And I came back to help Anthony in the health crusade or save a life because it really works. And, man, people need it. We'll see you back next week. Tonic Man, I'll back to you, and thanks for inviting me to the call.
Yeah, Lenny, I think before you leave, one of the things that is really important that other people may like to know is, what did you say to Peggy, or how? Oh, well, no, of course, Peggy said that her pal Christine got her drinking again. But I know this week you've been talking to many people who were in somewhat of the same boat. They drank 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and then they stopped. And then they started not feeling well again. And a lot of the health issues came back. So what do you say to them, and how do they react and get back on the tonic?
Well, sometimes it's not easy because, you know, they've gone back to a lot of the problems, and I just talk to them how they feeling, what they doing, and then have you considered drinking the tonic again? They're like, man, I didn't even think about that. So I have to step them through it again. How it's, you know, they need to stick with it on a daily basis, and a lot of times I just listen, and you know, I don't talk too much or try to interrupt, but I will give them the tonic, and several of them have got back on the tonic, and just in a few months, I'm hearing good results again. Like they're feeling better, they have more energy, and some of them are taking less medication. So there's a lot of different things.
So the key word that you said was they say, oh, I never thought about the tonic. They forgot about it. And that's one thing that Betty has been doing really in depth. And that's making sure she stays in touch with people to remind them that this is probably really going to end up to be the least expensive health insurance that they could ever find. Because we're all like that. We go on to other things, we think of other things come up in our lives, and, I didn't think about it, and before you know it, it's 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year, and then starts getting lousy again. So,
yeah, Anthony, I think a lot of it is because you become normal. I mean, you know, I suffered for a long time with illnesses. I get better on the tonic after 2 years. It took 2 years before I really noticed that, wow, I'm in really good shape again. But then you become normal, and you're thinking, I don't need to take this anymore. I can save myself some money. That's what usually happens. And then little by little, they're back to buying vitamins. They're trying this and that and hearing all the different pitches. And if they're reminded about the tonic and how it first affected them, a lot of people get back on the tonic because they remembered how good they used to do.
The key for everyone listening tonight, for those of you who would like to drink at least your own product free of charge, you just have to make those phone calls to the people that were using it, and probably they'll be very thankful that you did call, because they too are going to be like a lot of people Lenny just talked to. Oh, I never even thought about that. Just staying in touch is the important thing, the communication. And you, as Betty said earlier, you don't have to call to get an order. You call to say, how you doing? And they're going to say, great, I don't need any right now. No problem. When you do, you know what to do, how to get it. But just to remind them, maybe they stop drinking and they have a half a bottle left. We have phone calls these days from people that we haven't seen since 2005 and 2006, calling us, asking us if product they had in those days is still good. And our answer is to everyone, it's worth its weight in gold. Don't waste it. Drink it. It may be a little bitter compared to today, but, mix it up in something and drink it down, and they're back on it and happy as can be that they found it in their larder or in the back of the fridge somewhere or wherever they put it. And so I tell you and everybody the same thing. If you have an old bottle that's around Don't waste it. It's worth its weight in gold. So make those phone calls and remind people that if they're not feeling too well, why don't they scrounge around for their old bottle of JC Tonic and start drinking again, and I'm sure they'll thank you of it. And don't forget, this really, really outstanding special is 6 bottles for $270, including shipping. That comes to $45 a bottle. Stock up on it and drink more while this virus is going around. You will see how much it helps you to stay well, okay? Betty, I appreciate that you shared your way of doing it. And folks, you can listen to this call again and listen to what Betty said and take some notes, because that's the way to do it. And keep in touch and make sure that people are drinking their measure every day. Keep them well. Save a life, as we say.
Anthony, can you hear me?
Sure.
Oh, good. I didn't know if I was muted or not. One of my clients that I called today, I was kind of down and out, because of the elections, and people are looking at me like I'm out to lunch. But anyway, then I got to chatting, and he really, really cheered me up. But we also started talking about the virus, because I get a lot of emails concerning it and, things that are going on. And he said to me, I don't know anybody that's got the virus. And I said, honestly, his name is Cecil. And I said, Cecil, I call hundreds of people who are on the tonic, and I don't know anybody either. I had one girl who actually said she had the virus, and then she was getting it a second time, and she got on the tonic, and she told me because of the tonic, she stayed at the hospital that second time. But that's the only person, like in the hundreds of people that I call every day, or not every day, but, during the course of a month, I haven't come across anybody who's got the virus. So
well,
we're keeping our immune systems pumped up, important to do, but in these crazy times with everything that's going on in the world, it's nerve-wracking. And, the tonic really does help through all this stress.
Yeah, it helps for the stress as well. That's right.
Yeah, for sure. So, I appreciate, a lot of times, they'll be talking to me and they'll be telling me stories and they'll cheer me up, but I'm not having a great day, as Cecil did today, so you meet some wonderful people in this business, and people who are compassionate and who really care, and they want to share the product and they want to help others. And that's what it's all about, bottom line, really.
And as soon as you get the people on it for the first time, they see the light. Within that first bottle, everyone...
Yeah, a lot of them do right away, for sure.
Yeah, sees why we're talking about it like this. So as Lenny said, folks, and as Betty said, these calls are not meant to grab an order. They're meant to make sure that people understand that this stuff flat out works and that everyone can drink it because it's good for anybody, but only if you have any blood in you. If you don't have any blood in you, don't buy any. On that note, Betty, thank you so very much. Lenny,
thank you.
Glad to see you back in the saddle.
Yep, that is good. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate it very much.
Everyone on the call, thank you very much. You know who to call to get more information. And, of course, if you just want to call Home Office Direct for your special virus special price order, just go right ahead. It's good till the end of the month. Okay?
Okay, thanks
you, again, and I appreciate everybody. And
good night, everyone. Thank you very
we'll
much.
We'll have another great call next week. All right.
You.
Good night, all.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thanks to you, Peggy.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for the call.
I'm glad you're on it. Thanks a lot.
Me too.
Okay, and everybody else is on it. Thanks so much.
We're going to keep our blood clean, boy.
Keep your blood clean and bring some good stories next week and new people to show what's transpired and what's changed. Save a life.
Okay.
We'll see you next week.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.